Hey, Pastor Ray Barnett here with you. Glad that you could be with me here on the Oasis. And as always, I wish you a good morning, good afternoon, or a good evening, depending on what time you're watching this broadcast. Absolutely gorgeous day here in upstate New York. And I'm located here with a little bit more of a bird's eye view of the canal that's behind me here. Let me show you off to the side here. You can see, I think you can see part of the Mohawk River. Let's see if I can get you a little bit more of that there. And behind me is the water that you see there is part of the Erie Barge Canal. Let me give you another shot here. You see that little bridge right there? Well, that's the bridge that people used to use to go into the Putman's grocery store right there. Back in the 19th century. A little shot of the Mohawk River there. So many years ago, there's some of the walls there where the barges would come in, ships would come in, go over that bridge I just showed you, and get their supply from the Putmans at the grocery store. Anyway, beautiful day. And as I sit here and meditate, I was thinking on what subject to cover with you today on the Oasis, and it occurred to me, I don't believe I've addressed the subject of overcoming sleeplessness in some time. And I'm certain there's quite a few of you who have this issue. You get up in the morning and you talk to your friends. You say, I toss and turn all night. I never sleep well, which is an exaggeration, of course. But it may be a problem, as it usually is for people with nervous symptoms, anxiety, depression, mental health issues, sleeplessness. So what I want to address is something that I just mentioned. I haven't probably addressed this in quite some time, and I think with so many new subscribers, it would be good to address it now. How do you learn how to sleep like the proverbial rock at night, when that's, for so many of you, not your experience? You toss, you turn, you're up a lot. Some of you get up out of bed and perambulate around, which doesn't help anymore either, because that's not going to do it. Not unless you go. I think I told you about the story about a man I ran into by my age at the gym some time ago, some months back, and yeah, he get up at 1 o'clock in the morning and just can't fall back to sleep and goes to the 24-hour gym and works out. Well, that's fine. That's not for me, but that's fine. I mean, if that's what makes him comfortable. But it would be far better, in my opinion, for him to learn what I'm going to teach you about how to overcome sleeplessness. This, by the way, can also be applied to restlessness. Let's start with restlessness. There are many of you that are constantly shifting, moving your legs. I won't go into the details, but I kind of laughed some years ago when they came up with this new diagnosis of the restless leg syndrome. I had a discussion with a couple of my kids and saying, "Oh, Dad, it's a real condition." I said, "No, it's not like your leg is not part of your body. It's just doing something automatically, unless there's some real anomaly. Ordinarily, you're shaking your leg because you're tense and nervous. Same with moving all the time. So restlessness. But what I'm going to show you, the application is the same for sleeplessness as well as restlessness. And that's motionless sitting. So I practice on a regular basis with just sitting still. And I mean completely still. As a drummer, I have if you know any drummers, you'll see them always tapping their hands. Somehow it affects the nervous system, not in a really bad way, but it just does. I know as a drummer, I'm always tapping on my steering wheel as I'm driving, usually listening to music, but not always. That's not really a nervous habit, but when I want to calm my body down, I don't move at all. I don't move my fingers. I won't move my toes. I won't shift my feet. I just completely sit still. And the deep breathing that we've been through before, very, very, very helpful technique, which is known to so many, many people. Just concentrate on your breathing. You don't move a muscle. All right, that's restlessness. And that's how you conquer it, by the way. You say you can't stop shifting, can't stop moving. It's not can't, it's won't. But I'll let that go for now too. So you're in bed. You've been there only an hour and you're awake. And maybe you're wide awake. You toss, you turn. Let's say this is very common too. You go to bed and immediately you're on your left side. You're on your right side. You flip over onto your stomach. You're on your back. Left side, right side, stomach, back, repeatedly over and over and over again. So what is happening and what you're doing is you're actually, you're releasing the tenseness that's in your body throughout the day. But you're creating more, let me use the word restlessness. You're creating more restlessness by giving vent to, through motion, twisting, turning, twisting, turning. I can tell you that from a kid, once I'm asleep, and I go into some very deep sleeps at night, I twist and turn a lot. I'm constantly fighting the covers, even at this stage of my life, this age of my life. I wake up, I got to straighten the covers out. But I don't stay awake when I awaken at night very long, and I'll tell you why. And I'm going to tell you how to conquer it. Keeping in mind the principle that I accent over and over again on this channel. What I'm saying to you is simple, but initially is not easy to do. But once you have built up a habit of doing what I'm going to tell you to do, you will sleep like a rock. What I do, I'm going to suggest you do the same thing. I go to bed, and just like you, I may turn onto my left side, and that's not comfortable on my right side. I give myself a little time frame. Let's say 5 minutes. For me, it's much, much shorter than that, but let's just say 5 minutes. I give myself 5 minutes to make up my mind. Is it going to be on my left side or my right side? If I'm more comfortable on my stomach, which sometimes I am, I give myself 5 minutes to make a decision. Left side, right side, sleep on your back, on your stomach. Again, for me, it's much shorter than 5 minutes, but for you, you give yourself 5 minutes. You look at the clock. Let's just pick a time. It's 10 p.m. That's when you go to bed. 12 p.m. Don't matter. Look at the clock. It's 10:00. You give yourself to 10:05 to make up your mind. Is it going to be left side, right side, stomach, back, and so on. At 10:05, 5 minutes. That's it. There's no more turning. Left side, right side. No, you say, I think I'll go on my left side. Once you make that decision, that's where you must stay. Now, here's the thing. Because you're a restless sleeper, or just restless in general, you're going to actually, the tension in your body is going to actually increase momentarily once you make that decision. The body is looking for release through motion. Now you say, what's wrong with motion? Well, nothing if you're going to take a nice walk or run or go to the gym or go to work or whatever, where you're going to need to move your muscles. Nothing wrong with that. But if you're truly trying to have a good night's sleep, which obviously that's what you're looking for, that's what you're after. Once you make that decision, first thing is that the tension is going to increase. You're going to feel like moving more. It's going to feel just like torture, especially for some of you who have real difficulty sleeping. That cessation of movement is going to increase the tension momentarily. But then if you look at it this way, you're this much tense, and then it starts to spike, as you say, left side, and that's it. There's no more negotiation over what side you're going to sleep on. No more turning. You won't permit yourself to turn anymore. You give your muscles a command to stay on the left side, stay on the right side, stomach, back, whatever you choose, doesn't matter. Once you make that decision and you stand on or lay on your left side, the tension will increase, so it's going to make it more difficult initially, but within minutes, if you have to really mean business to give your muscles a command that you're staying on the left side. I'm going to stay on my left side, and I'm not going to permit myself to move. What we're looking for is to build up a habit that this is going to become a routine. So again, just like you, I go to bed, I may toss and turn just a little bit. For me, it's a matter of maybe 2 minutes to give me a chance to make a decision whether I'm going to stay on my left side, right side. You get the picture. Once I do, I will not permit my fingers to move. I will not permit my feet to move, my legs to shift, my shoulders, nothing. Everything has got to remain absolutely perfectly still. Now, once you do that, you start to build up a habit, night by night. It's not going to come easy, right? Remember, nothing on this channel comes easy. So let's settle that, especially for the new subscribers. And also, we don't need complex theories. You don't need to read volumes of books on how to sleep. I mean, there are some good sleeping aids out there that I use myself, at least occasionally. But we don't need complex intellectualism, complex philosophies. Just make a decision. You're going to stay on your left side, right side, whatever. And once you do, you mean business with your muscles, and you forbid them to move at all. That includes the finger tapping, which is more my habit as a drummer, moving your toes or anything. You stop. Everything stops. Tension increases. Now you feel like you're being tortured, but all of a sudden it just drops off. The body starts to relax. All well and good. You wake up 2 hours later, midnight. There it is again. All right, make another decision. Left side, right side, stomach back. Forbid yourself to move. As you do this night after night, day after day, the brain will start to recognize that we have a system here. We have something going on. And it will begin to acquire a habit. Right now, your sleeplessness is a habit. Now you say, oh, that's not true, Pastor. I got a lot in my mind. I have often told people I would match the stress that they're under with the stress that I'm under up against most people, and in certain seasons of my life, which is frequent, I would match it up against anybody's. Certain exceptions, of course, but anybody's. But I've learned this technique of how to not permit my body to release tension through motion, because that's not going to help. 2 hours later, you wake up, same routine. Pick a side. Now you want to take less time. Within a minute, back on this side, left side, right side. And you just remain motionless. Do this day after day, a week, a month, 6 months. All of a sudden, the brain has learned that when it gives a command to the muscles, or I should say the muscles learn, when the brain gives a command to stay still on one side, it becomes habitual, and you'll be surprised how fast you start to fall asleep, stay asleep longer, and those periods of waking up in the middle of the night or hours later, whatever it may be, start to diminish. You're going to reach a point, or at least you may reach a point, where you go to bed again 10 p.m., and all of a sudden, before you know it, it's 6 a.m., and you've slept the whole night. Now, I know for many of you, that would be really, really great. Really, really great. So here's the thing. Let me repeat myself. We don't need elaborate systems. You don't need elaborate systems of how to sleep well at night. Follow this simple instruction, which once again is not easy, but it is simple. And if you do it in time, weeks, months, certainly within a few weeks, but I'll go a few months, your body will have a habit. Brain says, stop moving. We're going to be on the left side. And your body will just automatically follow the command of the brain, which at the moment it doesn't have, because you're not giving commands to your body. You're up, you're walking around, going to the bathroom, maybe go get something to eat, come back, and you don't sleep well. Follow the instructions that I have just given you, and it's a guarantee. I'll say it's 100% guarantee, or you get your money back. And since you haven't paid anything for this broadcast, we're good. You want to sleep. Sleep, of course, is very, very important. But let me add one thing before I finish. when you don't sleep at night, that does not mean that you haven't slept at all. And the body God has designed the body in a great way that when it's truly exhausted, it just, I don't mean death when I say stop functioning, it just shuts down. You just collapse or faint or whatever. So count that as a blessing. God's design. The body knows, by the way, what to do in almost all cases, with some exceptions like trauma and advanced diseases and so on. Other than that, the body knows what to do. You give it a strict command, whatever side you choose. You can change from night to night if you want, doesn't matter. But once you pick a side, once you pick a position to sleep in, your will mean business with your muscles. And you're going to find that as this habit goes, that problem of sleeplessness, again, this is excluding some type of disorder that you have that maybe, need further investigation. It'll be gone. Your sleeplessness will be gone. Now, before I pray for you, you say to yourself, wouldn't it be great if I could just sleep tonight? It may not work the first night, or the second, or the third, but you keep at it. Don't stop. Don't care how many times you fail. Keep going at it. And eventually, the muscles will know the brain means business. We're set. We got a habit of how to put ourselves to sleep and stay asleep. Even if we wake up, we get right back to sleep again. And problem solved. Sounds simple? You say it sounds too simple? It's not. It's a proven technique, and it works. It just takes discipline. It takes training. And everything about this broadcast is all about the training, not the information. Or not just the information. So let me pray for you. I'm going to pray that you sleep tonight. And I'm going to pray that you practice these principles that I give you right here on the Oasis. Father, I pray for my friends. I know many that are watching today have a problem with sleeplessness and don't know how to resolve it. They've read books. They've heard YouTube videos, some of which worked, some of which didn't. And the solution is discipline. Give them the courage to discipline themselves, and they will find that what I'm saying truly works. Amen. All right. So, weather's going to hold up. I should be here with you tomorrow. As always, I give an invitation to subscribe to the channel. Subscribe, hit the notification button for those of you who watch on a regular basis. Please share these broadcasts with others who really, really need them. The mental health situation is getting worse by the day worldwide, so think of others and share the broadcasts. Yeah, that's about it for today. I truly pray that you would do this training and comment to me. Let's wait a few days or weeks or whatever, and let me know how it's working out. And I may be able to help you if you're saying it's just not working. With some specific information, I may be able to tell you why it's not working, because this actually works perfectly. It works very, very well. All right, God willing, I'll be with you here again tomorrow on the Oasis. And as always, I exhort you, no matter what, including sleeplessness, make sure the peace of God rules in your heart. God willing, I'll be with you here again tomorrow on the Oasis. God bless.